You're watching WVEC TV, Channel 13.
The trucks are loaded just in case the white stuff heads our way.
Now the cameras are keeping a steady vigil. We'll tell you how the system works.
This is 13 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Terry Zahn.
And I'm Regina Mobley. Get ready, Hampton Roads. A winter storm could make things a little messy tonight. Let's go now to 13's chief meteorologist, Jeff Lawson, for the latest on the storm. Jeff?
Well, Regina and Terry, probably 95%, something like that, of the viewing area, seeing light rain and snow, little sleet mixed in. But as we said earlier, where there are a few heavier bursts, that pulls the cold air down from aloft and you end up with some snow. Let's look quickly at SKYMAX. You can see the area I'm talking about, specifically on the right center side of your screen where you see the yellows. Elizabeth City, Currituck County, maybe on into Pungo and Back Bay. That heavier burst dumping a dusting to an inch right now, not on the roads, just on the grassy areas, and that'll be over very quickly, but we'll have details in just a minute.
All right, thanks so much, Jeff. We'll check back with you later in the newscast.
Time now to check on the progress of that storm.
Jeff Lawson is in our SKYMAX Weather Center. Jeff?
Yeah, many areas right now seeing rain, little snow mixed in, but a few spots, enough snow to cover the ground. We'll tell you where and who might get it coming up next as we look at today's almanac.
And now, SKYMAX weather with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lawson.
Well, I bet you that most of you know that we had some snow around the area on Saturday. Brief, if you were on south side, lasted a little longer. In fact, several hours, many hours up on the northern neck, so they had a little more. Just like it was supposed to, I might add. Now things just turned around. It's southern areas that are seeing the most, especially a little corridor of northeast North Carolina. We're going to talk about that. So here's the very complicated forecast. Low temperatures tonight near 30 degrees. That's pretty much after all of this ends. We will have sprinkles and flurries north and west of us. South side will see a little bit heavier precip, meaning a light mix of light rain and snow, and some heavier precipitation over North Carolina, much of it in the form of rain, except those heavier bursts. We talked about them about a half an hour ago. Let me show you exactly what has been happening. Set it all in motion. We had a lot of clouds today. Then we started to see the light sprinkles and flurries moving in late in the afternoon, early evening. And notice, if you look carefully, how the darker colors of green are down over North Carolina. That's where the heaviest of the action is. So if we can go to SKYMAX, what happens, the heavier the precipitation, it sort of manufactures its own cold air. So even though air temperatures did not change at all within about a half an hour span, because the actual downburst was heavier, we ended up with a little bit of snow covering the ground from Knott's Island back down toward Grandy. I talked to the Grandys at the Grandy Greenhouse in Grandy, and they told me that there's about a half an inch just covering the grass, not covering really any of the roads. Same thing, although there's maybe even up to an inch on the grassy areas down around Spot and Harbinger and areas down near the point there. All of that, as you can see, is that little corridor. We have some slightly heavier precipitation. So back to the maps. Everybody's saying, man, if it snows like this, we'll have like 3 or 4 inches. It's not going to keep snowing like this. Everything clearly moving on out pretty rapidly. In fact, we expect the snow to be tapering off in the areas where it is snowing right now over the next hour or two, something like that. So get out there and enjoy it while you can, because it's gone later tonight. In fact, by morning, a little bit of sunshine trying to develop. Temperatures starting off cold and ending up about 40 degrees or so. Pretty typical for this time of year. On into Wednesday, a new system moves our way and could bring some rain or snow on Thursday. In fact, more significant precipitation. Right now, as you can see, above freezing. That's why it's not going to stick to the roadways. So here are the forecast specifics again. Down near 30 late tonight after everything comes to an end. Tomorrow morning, partly sunny near 30 degrees, partly to mostly sunny and 40 tomorrow afternoon. 5-day forecast calls for a milder 49 on Wednesday, and then a messy mix again across parts of Virginia on Thursday before it clears out late week and early weekend. So we'll certainly keep an eye on it, but it looks like this evening a little bit of extreme southern areas like Pungo and parts of southern Chesapeake, northeast areas of North Carolina, another hour or two of some snow with a little rain mixed in, and then everything moves out.
I dare you. Say snane.
Snane. Now, there's snizzle, which is snow and drizzle. I've never heard snane before.
Well, it's been sanctioned by you now. Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Well, if you're tired about all this talk about winter, we can talk summer, because we're going to talk NASCAR. So summer can't be too far away, can it?
That's right. No running down at Daytona today because of rain in Florida, but we will go back to the Busch Clash. Jeff Gordon puts his win in perspective coming up next.
Well, again, remember at 6 o'clock we talked about an area moving toward us that had a little bit of a wintry mix in it? Let's take you back, in fact, to 7 o'clock. This will be on the radar, and you can see I've drawn in the rain-snow line. I will set it in motion, and a couple of things happen. First of all, the precipitation overspreads the area, and also we have the rain-snow line moving. It is currently located pretty far to our north and heading onto the northwest. So that is the good news. We just have rain around here. It had a couple of hours of sleet, made a little bit of icy patches maybe here and there, but now everything turning over to rain, and that's all we have to worry about. That is the good news. I will, of course, have the complete forecast, all the details, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
All right. Thanks so much, Jeff. Terry?
Thanks, Jeff.
Welcome back. One more look at the wake-up weather for tomorrow. Most places, scattered showers, 43 degrees. If you live way off to the north, though, like the northern neck and places, you might have a couple of snow flurries or snow showers, but for most of us, rain showers. Back to you all.
Thanks, Jeff. Well,
the Redskins are working with their second-string quarterback. But here's the good news. Conklin did very well, I think, against the Eagles, even though the Redskins lost that game. And the other, I think, good news is that they're going to start with that rookie running back, Reggie Brooks, starting tonight. That's good news because I think he's a good running back. The Dolphins, coming off a win against Buffalo, they're tough.
Well, we've got our backs against the wall, coming off a heartbreaking loss against Philadelphia. Now we got to go down and play in Miami on Monday night. So, this is a big game for us.
They just execute so well. I mean, they don't try to gimmick you. They don't try to trick you. They just go out now to execute most people.
We got to go out and do it 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, we went out and beat Buffalo last week, and it was a good win for us. We were physical and we dominated the game, but you got to prove yourself again. That's over. We can't bask in that glory anymore.
The thing that makes them great, though, is that they've got the traditional NFC East characteristics. They're big, they're powerful, and they like to beat people up. But also they play with a lot of finesse. They have a lot of tricky schemes.
Oh, so they're tricky. Somehow, a lot of my friends are Giants fans, as in the football Giants, and they've been bragging about their football team. And I kept saying, let's wait until they play somebody good. Along came the Bills last night. I think the Giants proved that they're a good team. That's not a knock. I think they're a good team, and they proved it against the Bills. Phil Simms, I think, should have never lost that job 2 years ago. He had that team winning 14-10. It looks like they were going to win because Kelly was having a bad night, but he can have a bad night for most of the night and make the other team look bad the rest of it. And he did. Kelly brought the Bills in for the touchdown late, and then Bruce Smith shut down the Giants for good. That was the Sunday night game, in case you missed it. Buffalo beat the Giants. Well, after this pennant race, I think the playoffs and World Series should be a cakewalk for the Braves. 104 wins. That's right, 104 wins, a phenomenal number, but it's just phenomenal enough. They edged the Giants by 1 game for the playoffs. The fans going nuts. The Chop alive and well. For the 3rd straight year, they win the National League West. I think the best team I've seen in a long time.
This team has a lot of character and a lot of very good players. And, you know, we've done it again this year. I mean, believe it or not, it's not even over yet. It feels like it is, but it's not over yet.
It's exciting. I mean, 103 wins for the Giants to come in 2nd place. I mean, I think that makes it a little bit sweeter even knowing that we had to fight so hard. I mean, we had to play every game like it was our last one. And, you know, this you can't win in any better way than this.
We never, ever gave up. Nobody in here ever gave up from the outset of the season. And I got to tip my caps to everybody in here. They did a wonderful job.
The only good thing about it, I didn't have to see Atlanta on the same field. It's not the best thing about it. I didn't have to watch them parade around the field. Seen that 2 years in a row.
Yeah, Bonds must be having nightmares. That's 3 years in a row now. The Braves have taken it from them. One other note, the Hampton University Pirates are now ranked number 3 in Division II. So a great pennant race. I love that. And the playoffs all start tomorrow and Wednesday.
Okay.
Lots of screaming from the sports
So you think
office.
Atlanta is going all the way?
Ask me that tomorrow.
Okay.
Tonight I'm saying
tomorrow,
yeah.
Remind me to ask you.
I will.
Stay with us. In a moment, your spirits will be lifted.
Guaranteed, because you'll meet Cleo Rush, this week's Spirit of Hampton Roads. We'll catch up with her as she spreads charity and goodwill.
Electricity for the lady down the street. Deep in the heart of Texas, and adored by lovers of the Old West, is Fort Worth, a city that not only has its own stock market, but is also a major financial center, because it's one of the 1,900 communities served by Nations Bank, letting Justin Industries keep in step with the latest ideas in investment banking, giving families like the Trevinos a fresh start, and offering a range of resources that keeps people in Fort Worth from having to play second fiddle to anyone.
It was a horrible, senseless crime. A part-time clerk was shot to death across the street in that bakery. The victim was working to get his doctorate degree. The gunman, he was out on early parole for previously shooting a man in the head. This is one major difference between my opponent and me. I want to abolish parole, especially for violent criminals. Mary Sue Terry disagrees, but I'll change that law when I'm governor.
That's one reason why Virginia's largest police association supports George Allen for governor.
Rescue me, come take me in your arms, rescue me. I want your tender charms, 'cause I'm lonely and I'm blue. I need you, come on and rescue me. HQ to the rescue.
Brighten up your home with Glidden Spread Satin Wall Paint and a great assortment of Sylvania soft white light bulbs.
HQ to the rescue.
It comes with a 56-inch diagonal viewing area, stereo sound, noise reduction, and quadra-track for remote operation. It has an optional V8 for fast tracking between stations, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a driver's side airbag. Presenting Jeep Grand Cherokee, the ultimate entertainment center. Available for viewing at a dealer near you. Now save up to $1,750 on select Grand Cherokees.
See your Hampton Roads Jeep and Eagle dealer.
There's something special going on in the Ocean View section of Norfolk. People living in the streets are being taken in. People who are hungry are being fed, and best of all, they're being taught to survive on their own. The woman behind the mission is Cleo Rush. She started her nonprofit foundation to help the elderly, but it's since expanded to become much more. Cleo is this week's Spirit of Hampton Roads.
Thank you, dear Lord, for this food in the name of Jesus. I claim victory, Lord God, over starvation, hunger all over this world.
Cleo Rush and her small but dedicated group of volunteers always give thanks for the donations. But Cleo's not waiting for a miracle to happen to help the homeless. She believes it's her purpose to help those who cannot help themselves.
Now, tell me about your doctor's appointment yesterday. How did that go?
James lost everything when he was put on disability, including his children. They were put in foster care. Cleo helped to get them back, and she continues to help.
These people need not just a Band-Aid fix. They need a situation where they have time to grow and prosper.
But giving the homeless time to regroup requires money, and there's not enough, even though many of the volunteers give up wages from their paying jobs just to keep the foundation going. If the question is why, Cleo had this answer.
Because the need was so great. I couldn't stand the pain in a mother's eyes when I was feeding their child and they were crying while they were eating because they wished they could have fed their child. It's just so many things I saw. 13-year-old that has cancer, I would like very much if you would get a Christmas list from him.
Cleo tries to make everyday Christmas for the people she takes in. She'd walk a mile to find them a job, shelter, or the food they need to survive.
Hi, Jackie. How you doing? I'm bringing you a little bread and little cookies that somebody donated today. What makes me smile is the mother's face when I've got a place for them to stay, a child smiling when their stomach is full, or the young mothers with their purse and matching shoes, and see them smile and watch their self-esteem through their eyes. That makes me smile. That makes me smile a lot.
Well, Cleo may be smiling, but she's had her share of problems. She's had several heart attacks. She works sometimes 16 hours a day and refuses to slow down. She told me she can't. There's too much left to be done.
It's a pretty smile, too.
Yeah.
Pretty smile, pretty heart.
Great lady. Hope that folks at home help her out. They're doing.
Hope so, too.
Yeah. So I
she
guess
doesn't get that much United Fund.
No United Way funding. Everything comes from people who just donate.
Okay.
Thanks for
Barbara.
coming.
Good night.
You've been watching Hampton Roads' #1 newscast, 13 News at 6.
Service First is the automobile insurance.
Important to remember at a time like this, when your car has been sitting idle, when it's very dark.
White meat dipped in a lightly seasoned